All right, so we're diving into the only one, chapters 9 and 10 this time, and really trying to get a sense of Jiang Tian and Sheng Wang.
Yeah.
Their dynamic. I mean, you sent over these excerpts, and I
Yeah.
think what's so interesting is instead of just doing a plot summary,
Yeah.
I really want to like dig into these scenes
Yeah.
and figure out like what makes them tick.
And what's so fascinating is how much is revealed through this seemingly simple lunchtime trip
Exactly.
to this convenience store joy.
Right. It starts out, we're introduced to Boss Sal. He's this like jovial
Yeah.
convenience store owner. And then, of course, he's like,
Right.
especially jovial with Jiang Tian.
Mm-hmm.
But then it takes this turn, right? Where Jiang Tian goes to this family area.
Right.
What even is that?
I know.
We still don't know.
We're dying to find out.
Yeah. And leaves poor Sheng Wang just totally stranded.
This is where I feel like as a reader, we get our first glimpse into like their dynamic and their personalities because Sheng Wang forgets his money.
Oh, I know.
And he just like completely
It's like he goes into a tailspin.
descends into this spiral of despair. Oh, he's so dramatic about it too.
He's like, my thin skin. Like squatting by the door.
I know.
Oh, it's just so good.
But it's those little details.
It's so relatable, though. Like, we've all been there.
Of course.
But he's just so, like, he needs to preserve his pride.
Yes, and we see that.
And you're just like, oh, Sheng Wang.
And in contrast, you have Jiang Tian, who's like completely unfazed by the whole thing.
Right.
And they actually have to call Jiang Tian back to the store.
Right, to essentially rescue him.
Yes, to rescue him.
And you just get this sense, and it's never explicitly stated, but like, what is their history?
Yeah.
Have they been in this situation before?
Like, what is the nature of their connection?
Yeah.
It's never really stated, but there's this weight
You can just feel it.
of these unspoken words
You're right. It's so true.
between them, especially when Jiang Tian comes back and he's just like, I'm responsible for him.
Yes.
And it's almost like this
resigned. Like, he's annoyed, but also like he has to.
annoyed but obligated.
Yes.
This sense of responsibility. And it makes you wonder,
absolutely.
is it from a place of actual care?
Oh, good question.
Or is it guilt? What is it?
Yeah, and let's not forget how they're described physically, right? Like, Jiang Tian is towering over Sheng Wang.
Further emphasizing this power dynamic.
Yeah, and this power dynamic continues as they're, like, rushing back to school, right?
Right.
Because they're, like, late.
They're so late.
We're cutting it close, and of course, it's a surprise math quiz. Who's freaking out?
Oh, Sheng Wang?
Sheng Wang.
Right.
Jiang Tian. Cool as a cucumber.
Just cool, calm, collected, completes the test, no problem.
But then we get this great detail, right?
Oh, yes.
Sheng Wang sees the scar on Jiang Tian's neck
While he's sleeping.
while he's sleeping. And he's like, what is that?
And this scar becomes such a pivotal point
It's so good.
in the narrative because it's described as round and uneven, like it had been burnt by something.
It's true. You get that really, like,
Vivid imagery.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, what is that from? And immediately, it just piques your curiosity as a reader. You're like,
It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what's the story behind that scar?
what's the story? It just makes you wonder, like, what is that from? How did he get that?
Exactly. And it's like this physical mark, right? Of
Yeah.
this like unknown past. And it just makes you want to know more about him.
And it's interesting, right?
Yes.
Because it's like this one little thing.
Right.
This scar
Sorry, yes.
becomes this, like,
Symbol.
yeah,
Yeah.
the symbol of everything we don't know about Jiang Tian.
Right.
And you can almost feel Sheng Wang
Oh, totally.
getting more and more curious.
Yes. And it's not just the scar, right? He then gets fixated
Yeah, tell me about this.
on getting Jiang Tian's WeChat ID.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Even though he's like trying to convince himself and us.
Oh, totally. He's like, oh, I just need to pay him back.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Mm, yeah. Like it's just a simple act of repayment.
Yeah, right. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing I love about these chapters is like, it's all these little moments where Sheng Wang's like, his actions just completely betray
Yes.
his words. You know what I mean?
Totally. And it's like he's going back and forth.
Totally.
Right. Like, should I send a friend request? Or should I just like Alipay him the money?
Exactly.
But you can just tell he wants to like
He wants to be friends.
connect on a deeper level.
Come on, Sheng Wang. Just be honest with yourself.
I know, right? And he's clearly like strategizing his approach.
I know. And he's like rehearsing what he's going to say.
Yes. But then Jiang Tian, in typical Jiang Tian fashion, just throws this curveball.
I know.
He gives him the ID, but the nickname is Period.
Like, okay, first of all, rude.
I know.
But also like,
Like, don't expect much from me.
yeah, like, go away. Yeah.
It's so funny, though.
It's such a good contrast, though.
I know, because then you look at his profile picture and it's a cat. I know. Like, what is going on?
I love that detail so much. It's so good. Like, he gives you period,
Right.
but then it's a cat. I'm obsessed.
It's like, what are you trying to do here?
I know.
It's like he's presenting these two totally different sides of himself.
Totally. And like, which one is real?
Right.
Is he trying to deter interaction?
Or is he encouraging it?
Yeah. It's almost like he's testing him a little bit.
Yeah, like how badly do you want this?
Right. And speaking of testing him, can we talk about that late night WeChat acceptance?
Oh my God. 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
That feels calculated.
It has to be. Jiang Tian knows what he's doing.
Like he knew Sheng Wang would be checking his phone.
Oh, 100%.
And he wanted a reaction.
Totally.
And he got it.
It's so good, though, because we know from earlier,
right,
like when they were running back to school, remember? He noticed that Sheng Wang was struggling to keep up with him.
Yes. He's observant.
So he knows. He knows how Sheng Wang is, even if he's pretending like he doesn't.
Yes, exactly.
I just love that little detail.
It's so good.
He's very aware. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, he's playing the game.
Totally, totally. It's almost like this,
right.
you were saying, like, this power dynamic.
Yeah.
Is it possible that Jiang Tian, even though he's so, like, aloof,
yeah,
that he actually kind of enjoys it?
It's possible.
This hold that he has over Sheng Wang?
It adds like a whole other layer
Right.
to their relationship. You know what I mean? It's not just like
Oh,
Sheng Wang is completely enamored with this like untouchable person.
Wow.
He's like an active participant.
totally.
Yeah. He's in on it. Even if his like actions are a lot more subtle.
Right, right. And also, like,
And calculated.
so calculated. But also,
Yeah.
can we talk about Boss Zhao for a second?
Yes.
Because I feel like he's this minor character, but he's almost like,
He's like in on it.
he's like, he has this like, almost like a sixth sense about their whole dynamic.
Yeah, because he's like teasing Sheng Wang mercilessly about forgetting the money.
Yeah, like no mercy.
But then he's also the one who's like, Jiang Tian, come deal with this.
Come get your boy.
Right, exactly.
He's like a mischievous observer who is like, he's got a secret
yeah, like what does he know?
that neither of them even know.
I know, and it's like that family area too.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on the family area.
It's like this like hidden knowledge that he and Jiang Tian have.
It's so good. It really feels like Joy, the convenience store. It's like
this little microcosm
yes, exactly. That's what it is.
of their whole relationship.
It's like you get those scenes with them in the store, and it's like everything
Yes, their personalities are just like
intensified,
amplified
Yeah.
in this like very specific setting, and it's just and that hidden family area.
Oh, I need to know what's back there.
Right, what's going on? Like, is it really just for family?
That's what I want to know. What is happening? It really feels like, as a reader, you're like,
You're just craving access.
yes, you're like, let me in. I need to know.
Hmm.
And it feels very much like we're being primed
Oh, 100%.
for something big.
It's like the author is just building this suspense so masterfully,
Yeah.
dropping these like little breadcrumbs of information,
Totally.
and it just makes you want to know more. And it's like, now with the WeChat,
Right. And he accepted.
he accepted.
Like, what's going to happen now?
What's going to happen? Is it going to be like the key
Right. Is this going to bring them together?
to unlocking all of Jiang Tian's secrets?
Right. Or is he going to be like,
Or is it going to make things messier?
period?
Right.
Like, cut Sheng Wang off? I don't know.
It's so good. And that's what I love about these chapters is like,
Ah,
we're left
swear.
with more questions than answers.
It's true.
But they're the good kind of questions, you know?
The best kind. I know. It makes you want to read more, which is like, I feel like
Bicycle.
that's a sign of a good book.
The sign of a good book, a good story.
Right. So we're wrapping up our deep dive into The Only One, chapters 9 and 10. What's like your final takeaway?
Oh, my final takeaway is it's just this push and pull that I just find so compelling between
Yeah.
Sheng Wang just wanting to connect and Jiang Tian being like
So guarded.
so guarded.
Yes.
And you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And is true understanding even possible? Like, is that even on the table for them?
Right.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Ugh, I love it. What a great deep dive.
It's so good. It's such a good story. And who knew
Oh.
that a simple trip to a convenience store could be so like
I know. So much drama.
so much drama. I know.
Oh, I love it. Well, listeners, if you haven't already checked out The Only One, definitely do so. What a ride.
All right. Until next time. Happy reading.